welcome to Between the Shelves, the premier Sayville Library podcast. I am your host, Alex, and this week I am joined by Stephanie, the head of Adult Services.
Hello, Alex.
Hi. Marianne, the head of Teens.
Hi, Alex.
And Meaghan, one of our children's librarians.
Hi.
Hey, welcome back. You might remember Meaghan from our, I don't remember what the episode, if it had an official title, but we talked about romance books. We talked about a lot about audiobooks. I think that was episode 3 or 4.
That sounds right.
Going way back. We're in the 20s now. Can you believe it?
Wow, congratulations, Alex.
That's
awesome.
Thank
you.
Who's been on the most besides you?
Boy, Christina's up there. Peter and Marianne might be up there too.
This is only my second, so very exciting for
third
me.
and fourth.
Oh,
Okay,
big shoes to fill, apparently,
Yeah,
stuff.
you're up there. You're one of the...
Wow. The old timers.
Yeah, one of the old timers. So this episode, we're talking about our summer reading kickoff. So summer reading starts very, very soon. I think actually the day this episode releases is the day summer reading starts at Sayville Library. So we're going to talk about a little bit about how it works here at the library, some of the prizes you can win, and then later on in the episode, we're going to talk about some of our summer reading recommendations, and just a little bit about summer reading books in general. So let's get into like the business part of the episode. So the summer reading program, Meg, you kind of spearhead this at the children's department, and it's a big deal down in the children's department.
It really is, yeah.
So do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. So I work very closely with Donna, who's the head of children's, and we do summer reading. And I would just like to point out that I'm the only one that doesn't have like notes in front of me.
Digital notes, phone notes.
But like it's good. But I'm feeling a lot of pressure now. But my excuse is that our summer reading program has been very much the same as it's been since when I was reporting when I was a kid. So it's great. It's awesome if you've done it with us before. We have programs for pre-readers that we call our Read to Me program. And that's for any child that's still predominantly being read to. And they get a special kit with a list of books. And once they hit 25, they can bring it into the library to get a special prize and stickers and a certificate saying they completed it. And then if they want, they can take another list and do it all over again. And then for our elementary aged patrons, we have a big fun book report table with a big umbrella. And they can come in and tell us about up to 10 books a day, which is huge. And we have some kids that will meet that, which is amazing. And every book they report on, they get a sticker or a tattoo. And then there's a special weekly prize and brag tag, limited edition brag tag that they can collect all summer long. So it's really fun.
What's a brag tag? Am I the only person who doesn't know? Everyone does
I was waiting for someone else to ask.
We give them, to go along with our theme this year, our theme is all together now. And so to lean into that, we had like these cute little animals that have these little like plastic, like basically keychains. But if you string them all together on one of those fun little like metal keychain bracelets, they get their brag tags, and they're all different shapes, and they have different animals, and all the animals have like a fun character trait that makes a good friend. And they're really cute. So,
I want a brag tag. Can adults sign up for this, or is it?
No, but you can come check it out in the children's department. There's going to be a big sparkly sign with all of the stuff on it.
If you find a lot of brag tags missing, you know to check Alex's desk.
I know exactly where they went. It's been taken.
Just have a zoo set up.
Collect them all.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so, how's it working in teen, Marianne?
So for the teen department, we're a little bit different. And for the teen department here, we start with 6th graders, anybody entering 6th grade to 12th grade in the fall. So these kids are going to come in, they're going to sign up if they're not already signed up, because we did sign up with some class visits in the past month. They're going to sign up, they'll get a raffle ticket. We have 8 really great raffle baskets that we're going to raffle off in mid-August. So when you sign up, you get a raffle ticket. And then for every book you report on, no matter how many you report a week or a visit, you get an extra raffle ticket. Some kids are reading really big books, like Harry Potter is always the example we use. It's really big. We don't expect kids to finish it in a week. So if they come back, and report on, the first, 10 chapters that they read or the first half, and then they'll get tickets for that. We're not very strict. We just want to know that the kids are reading. So we have 8 really great raffle baskets that are going to be in our lobby on probably maybe starting next week. They'll be in the lobby, and you'll get to see everything that's in them. They have these really nice tags on them that details every prize that's in it, because you can't see all the prizes in the basket. But they are like $50 to $100. Each basket is worth $50 to $100. And they're really great. And I don't know if I should talk about prizes or if that's a later segment.
No, feel free to talk about it. There's one basket that I had my eye on.
Oh, is it that? Wait, I want to guess which one it is.
I could probably guess just judging.
Well, first let me name all of our baskets. So Angela, one of our part-time librarians in the teen department, she put together all the raffle baskets, and she did all the fundraising around town. And we got some really great gift certificates from our local businesses, and then she put together really great baskets. So this is what they're called. We have the Future Engineer, the Card Gamer, Sporty Summer, Water Gun Fun in the Sun, Best Summer Ever, The Artist, Anime Fanatic, and Perfect Movie Night. And I'm going to guess that Alex would want the Future Engineer.
I don't know what's in that basket, but it sounds intriguing.
It's got those, I don't know what they're called. It's like building things, but there's a specific name for them, and it's not a Lego, but it's maybe something like that, but age appropriate, like for older kids. Something like that. Okay, so then is it the Anime Fanatic?
It was the Anime Fanatic.
That was one of our most popular baskets when we had our 5th grade visits. Most of the kids, the majority of the kids put their tickets in that basket.
Wow.
We've got like some anime sketchbooks in there, and I don't even know what else because Angela did.
I was intrigued because you had some cool like Japanese snacks.
Oh yes.
I have a sweet tooth, so I have any opportunity to try something new in this realm of sweets, I'll jump at.
They're probably really good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unfortunately, last and kind of least,
I'll do my best.
I should have done this in reverse order.
So adult summer reading is also really fun, and we also have really cool prizes. We have 3 ways to register: in person at the reference desk, over the phone, or on the web. We have a special website for all the summer reading info can be found on the website, sayvillelibrary.org/summer reading that Alex made for us. So you could register any of those ways. You can also report online. There's 2 ways to report. Report online. We have a Google form you fill out for each book you read. You get a raffle. Or you can get book logs at the reference desk and paper book logs. Fill those out. So every book equals 1 raffle ticket. And then we have weekly drawings for local gift certificates for local establishments, usually restaurants in town, that are pretty popular. So that sums up adult. Adult's a little more simple, but just as much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Sounds good.
I like our prizes are great.
You guys always have good prizes, yeah.
Yeah, Peter usually shops for them, and he does a good job picking out all the good stuff in town.
Yeah, adult sounds a little matter of fact, but we've streamlined it. We've made it very easy. So if you were intimidated in the past, this is the easiest it's ever been. The Google form is 3 questions, I think. It's your name, the book you read, and you give it 1 out of 5 stars. That's it. And it's all like you can do it on your phone in 2 seconds, or you could come into the library, give us a call. Made it very, very easy. Mm-hmm.
And the teen can also report via the same Google form. It just has more questions, like what grade you're in, which school you're going to, and that might be the only 2 extra, and which basket you want to put your raffle ticket into. But it's very easy to do from the phone, or you could call us, or you could email us.
Yeah.
We make it really super easy.
I guess I should mention for the online reporting raffles, you're not receiving a physical raffle ticket. You're getting a virtual raffle ticket that Peter, works magic behind the scenes. So you don't have to come in and hand.
Yeah, the ticket's the same whether you're filling it out in person or virtually. It all gets entered into the same raffle. So all of that information we just talked about for the last few minutes, all of that can be found again at sayvillelibrary.org/summer reading, and I'll put the link in the episode descriptions.
Really quickly, I also want to add that Children's also has an online feature, but it is not the Google form. You can use Read Squared, which is a website or an app, free app that you can download. Recording books on there is just as easy, but just in a different format. And the link to that is also on our website, on the webpage.
So we had some 5th graders come and visit the library, and while they were here, they got to record themselves in the Sayville studio where we're recording this podcast right now. And one of the prompts that they were asked was to talk about some of their favorite books to read in the summer. So when I throw to the break right now, you're going to be listening to some of those recordings. So enjoy.
Hi, my name is Brielle, and I've been reading this Small Spaces book, and it's really good. If you like spooky or scary books, this is the one for you. It's about a girl that picked up this book and it's cursed, and scarecrows come alive. And if you like spooky, then you should definitely read this book.
Hi, my name's Scarlett, and I go to Sunrise Drive. I would recommend the book Whitebird because it's very realistic, and it teaches you a lot about the time that the book took place in.
Hi, my name is Grace and I go to Sunrise Drive. I recommend the book How to Steal a Dog because it teaches good lessons.
Hi, my name is Ezekiel and I'm from Sunrise Drive. And my favorite book is Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I like it because it's really funny and a lot of stuff is like funny. Like one time, Greg's brother Roderick is like doing funny stuff to Greg, and it's like really funny. That's why it's like one of my favorite books.
Hello, my name is Asher, and I go to Lincoln Avenue, and my favorite book is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This is a good book if you like suspense in some scenarios, and it's about a student named Alid Last who makes a podcast.
My name is Ashley, and I go to Lincoln Ave. A good book is Malcolm at Midnight because it shows a mystery, and it's very adventurous, and it's about a rat who's disguised as a mouse that goes to a school.
Hi, my name is Rosalie Pergisi. I'm from Lincoln Ave. A book I recommend that you read over the summer is called Orphan Island. It takes place on a warm, tropical island, and it's be a great book to sit outside on your porch and read because, it has, a lot of good feelings in it.
Hi, my name is Bella Snow. I go to Lincoln Avenue. The book I like to read is called The Unteachables. It gives different perspectives on school, and it's a great book to read over the summer.
My name is Todd Williams, and I go to Lincoln Avenue Elementary, and I read Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and it's really funny and cool, and I would recommend it for all ages.
Hello, my name is Owen Monahan, and I'm from Lincoln Avenue. I really love this book called Took. It's a really good horror book that's really scary. I would recommend it, but I wouldn't want to read it for younger children because it's pretty scary. So, have a great day.
I want to talk a little bit about what do you think makes the perfect summer read. So the first thing I'll start off, just to get the ball rolling. So the first things that come to mind for me when I think about a summer read is books that are usually lighter in tone, or they're shorter or at least quicker to read. So I'm not looking for heavy, dense things, which I tend to read at other parts of the year, but in the summertime I want something quick, something light, something breezy. So that's the first things to pop to mind. Does anyone have their ideal summer read kind of book in the mind?
I was going to say light, fun, easy reads that are not too long. So I guess that's I'm not the only one that thinks that. Something that you can kind of just grab and throw in your bag, something portable, a paperback perhaps, and something that doesn't take a lot of time because if you're on the go,
Well, for example, because I do agree with what you're both saying, for example, I went to the beach last summer and I brought a Douglas Stewart book with me called Young Mungo. Has anybody seen this book? Because it's huge and it's very heavy. It's a very heavy read. It takes place in Scotland. And I took it out and I started reading it at the first page, and my friend, who's also a librarian, said to me, you brought a Douglas Stewart book to the beach to read? That's way too heavy of a book, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And by the way, I probably read like a page and I was like, I can't do this, and I put it away. So it was a waste. So it definitely needs to be like really light material.
Yeah, summertime, I'm always bouncing around. There's a lot of distractions. I can't like sink into something that's going to take like my complete concentration to...
Yeah, especially if you're reading it in a public place like at the beach or a park or something. There's so much stuff going on that, yeah, it's got to be something
A lot of distractions.
I don't have to think too much about.
Yeah.
See, that's funny because my ideal summer book is something that is like I'm going to be hooked on it and I won't want to put it down despite all of those distractions. So when I think of like my favorite books that I've read in the summer or something I took on vacation with me or read at the beach, it's something that I maybe started when I was in that really busy public setting and then immediately went home and like locked myself somewhere so I could finish reading it or like stayed up all night finishing it. Because to me, summer books are books that you might want to stay up all night reading because, I mean, not everybody has this, but like summer vacation, like you can sleep in a little bit later and in the morning you can read it. And that doesn't necessarily apply to any of us in this room, but still, in theory, summer's for staying up late.
I read a great article on bookriot.com that I'll post in the description as well. And they talk about like the elements that make up like a typical beach read or a summer read. And they do talk about that. They say it has to be compulsively readable. So they say like thrillers are sometimes a good option because they're a page turner. You know, you're very invested. Anything that's like plot driven. So you don't want to have like paragraphs of like describing the flora or the tree, like deciduous trees and things like that. Like you want to just like boom, boom, plot point, keep this thing moving, keep me hooked. They said romances are also great for this too. Anything that's kind of carefree, fun, maybe with like a wild setting or something that'll keep you, interested. That's kind of another element they talk about. So it can't be like, you're probably not going to be reading like Axis and Allies, World War II, like history books probably on the beach. You want something that's like low stakes, like Meg, when you were on the podcast last time, we talked about like rom-coms as a genre of books. Those are great. Those are like the perfect summer reads.
Absolutely. Like I think I talked about Emily Henry at length last time. So I'm not going to do that again, but she has a book called Beach Read, which is quite literally a perfect beach read.
Yeah. That's my go-to genre for beach read.
Yeah.
It's my go-to genre
in general.
So anything that's set in the summer too, that's another thing they mentioned in the book. I thought that was interesting. I didn't think of that initially, but I guess you kind of things that are set in the summer kind of like have like a kinetic energy to it that kind of matches how you're feeling. So it might, if you're a mood reader, maybe that might help.
Right. They do publish a lot of books that are set on islands and vacation places around, in the spring, so that they're available for you to read in the summer.
Building up the anticipation for your summer reading pleasure.
Yeah.
And so anyone else have any, did we hit all the marks, the trademarks of a good summer read? Anyone?
Yeah, I feel like all the like the major genre books are like, like not a heavy literary fiction that's character driven, but like the plot driven, like mysteries, suspenseful, psychological thrillers. Those are the compulsive page turners. Yeah.
And sci-fi books, fantasy books. Yeah. The Book Riot had another quote. I just want to say this is how they kind of summarized it. And I want to see if you agree with this. Something that will have mass appeal and isn't particularly intellectually stimulating. That's kind of like their final bullet on it.
Yeah, that's... Wait, can you repeat that again? Wait, say that.
Something that has basically mass appeal and it isn't particularly intellectually stimulating.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's like a junk food.
Yeah, junk food.
I think that plays into you're reading it somewhere where there might be a lot of distractions. Yeah. So if you have to think too hard about it, you're not going to be reading it in an airport or at the beach or...
Unless you have some crazy ability to focus really well on what you're reading.
That's true.
But that's
in which case I envy that person.
Yeah. That's not to say that junk food books are, that you shouldn't be reading them all other times. Sometimes I like to pick up one of those in between those heavy reads year-round.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they're still really great, worthy books.
Oh, that's true. People love junk food for a reason. Those books are so much fun.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, I try to mix it up. I'll do like one heavy, one light, one heavy, one light. Because I just read I wasn't going to talk about this in like our next episode or what are you into, because it's hard to like talk at length about books that you didn't particularly enjoy or have like a really dry subject matter. Because I think I was telling you, Marianne, I just finished like a 1,000 page biography of Ulysses S. Grant, which is like it's like a doorstop book, and it's like so dry, and it's not something that's like exciting to talk about.
That's not a beach read.
No, not at all. Not at all. But then I followed it up with like, just the most craziest sci-fi book, like just like total cheese. Mm-hmm. So, you have to kind of balance it out a little bit. And the summertime, I feel like you can cheat a little bit more into the cheese side.
Get away with it,
One other point I wanted to have before we kind of go to a break and then reset with some actual book recommendations. And Marianne, maybe you can speak to this. I thought, sometimes a summer read, it kind of gives an adult an opportunity to read some good teen fiction.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
And the books that I am going to recommend as like my favorite teen read books for my favorite beach read books for the summer are teen books that are good for adults. And in general, in the teen room, a lot of adults come in and they want books for themselves, and they will say something like, "Oh, I'm an adult, I shouldn't be reading teen." And I always say, no, the teen books are so great for adults. And like, teen books aren't like they were when we were all kids. Like, they're not kiddish. The teen books have very heavy material in it, and they're just wrapped up quicker than an adult book.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take another break. We're going to hear some more fifth graders and what's some of their book recommendations. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about some of our book recommendations.
Hi, my name's Ava Cesaria. I'm from Cherry Avenue Schools, and I'm 11 years old. And I love books as well. Books are one of a good thing to get you smart. Me and my mom, we read almost every night because she's a teacher, and she brings home new books. Her class is reading Peter Pan right now, so we're in the middle of that. And I think it's super fun because when you read more, it helps you spell, which sometimes I have a hard time of spelling. So when you read more, my mom tells me it'll help you spell things so you don't get confused. So that's it.
Hi, my name is Olive, and I'm from Cherry Avenue Elementary School. Today I'll be talking about some of my favorite books. I really like Front Desk by Kelly Yang. It is very good. The people are immigrants from China, and it's how she gets through the problems of being new to America from China. And when she's wondering what to do. She has this Chinese classmate that makes it very hard for her. So that one's a really good one to check out. And then the Narnia series, that one's also very good. I know there are some movies of it. I really like how Susan, Lucy, Edmund, and Peter all find this magical world and just help them even though they have no idea what they're doing. And they're just having fun and doing something new that they've never tried. And then the last book that I really do recommend is the Percy Jackson series. There are many series of that, but that one's really good. He's a half-blood, meaning he was born by a god, and his mother was a human. Meanwhile, his father was Poseidon, the god of water and everything, and I feel like that one's really good. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Maggie Beach, and I'm from Cherry Avenue. I'm going to be talking about my favorite book series, which is called The Land of Stories, and it's about Alex and Connor, who are twins, who are connected to the fairy tale world, which is where their dad was from, and then their mom is from Earth. And in the first book, they travel to the fairy tale world, not knowing what it is. They go on a journey to try to get back to Earth, and their grandmother turns out to be the fairy godmother who helps Cinderella. In the second book, they're trying to defeat Maleficent, which you may know. And the third book is about trying to defeat their uncle, which they didn't know was their uncle. They thought it was their dad. And then the series continues with basically the same plot.
Hi, I'm Shannon Farrell, and I'm from Cherry Ave, a 5th grader, and I am going to talk about my 2 books that really changed me as a reader. So one of my books that I really enjoyed reading and changed me as a reader was Pie by Sarah Weeks, and it was a very good book, and I really recommend it to every new reader. And my second favorite book was Tales of the 4th Grade Nothing, and that one was a really good one, and there's also other ones in the series that I really liked, like Super Fudge and all those great books. So, yeah.
So let's talk about some of our favorite summer reads, or maybe some book recommendations to get our readers started on their summer reading adventure. Does anyone want to go first? Or I don't mind going first.
I'll start first.
Okay.
This time we'll throw things, make it a
Mix
little
it
different,
up.
mix it up a little bit, because Alex always starts first.
Even my wife says I talk too much in the podcast. So.
Well, it is your podcast.
No, it's not. It's the Sayville Library's podcast.
Yeah, that's okay. Meaghan, we like when Alex talks a lot during the podcast, so it's okay.
We do. It's fine.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so I'm going to recommend, I have 2 teen books that are really great summer read books. So the first one is called I Have No Secrets by Penny Jolson, and it's middle school appropriate and up. It's a psychological thriller, and I find that there's not a lot of psychological thriller teen books for younger teens. So this is one that I often recommend to kids. A little bit mystery, page turner. So we have our protagonist, Gemma. She's 16 years old, and she has severe cerebral palsy, and she cannot communicate. So someone in her life thinks she is an intelligent, which is not true. She's very smart. And they think that since she's non-communicative, he could get away with confessing his crime to her. So he tells her that he killed someone. And poor Gemma now cannot relay this information because she can't communicate, but she knows what he did was wrong, and he kind of torments her mentally a bit in the rest of the book. But eventually she is able to communicate. And so how she gets there is the journey, and what happens and how it ends is it's a really great ending, and it's just a really great book for like 12-year-olds and up. And again, as an adult, when I read this, I thought it was a really great book. I loved it myself.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And then the other one I am recommending is a series that's really, really popular right now called The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. And there are 3 books in the series. And after you read the books, you could watch, there's 2 seasons of it on Amazon Prime. So this takes place during the summer, so this would be fun to read. Belly, that's the character's name, she's 15, and her mother and her mother's best friend and her 2 sons, they rent a summer house every summer, and every year that they go, Belly is young and the boys don't want to hang out with her and I guess tease her. They treat her like she's a little sister, but the summer she turns 15, everything changes because she's a little more of a woman. And so now, there's a little more drama in there because, she doesn't look like that little kid anymore that she always was. And we flash back to previous summers when she tries to fit in. There's romance, there's family drama, and it's one of those page-turner books. And this is actually a series that's very hard to keep on the shelf right now because all the teens are coming in for it. And this is like a good 13, 14 and up book. So,
nice.
Yeah.
I read that in the summer one time.
And how was it as a summer book?
It was great as a summer book. My family rented a beach house, and we had a whole big family reunion. And I sat and ignored all of my little cousins so I could read it. So it was great.
Okay.
Excellent summer read.
Perfect testament to the summer read, yeah.
Good choice, Marianne.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone want to go next, or I can go?
I could go.
Okay.
So I tend to like I said, rom-com-y, kind of contemporary romance fiction. And I like when there's a series because it makes it, if I like the first one, then I just keep going. So I have 2 recommendations. They're both series. The first one is the series called The Brown Sisters by Talia Hibbert. It starts with, there's a 3-book series, 1 book for each of the 3 sisters. The first one is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And she's the main character. They're all from a wealthy family, and she's trying to get out on her own, do her own thing as a person that's lived kind of a sheltered life, with money and having a chronic illness. So the book is kind of like her bucket list of getting out of her shell, doing things she normally wouldn't do. In the process, becomes friends with her neighbor, who then, that's like, there's like a meet cute, and it's a really cute story about all the things she does to kind of get out of her shell and become an independent person, and then there's love story involved. So each one is the story for each sister. Very cute series, and they're like very quick reads, typical beach read. And the second series is the Wedding Date series by Jasmine Guillory. There's 6 books in that, and I think like a novella that's also like a 0.5 in there at some point. But that's just a fun series also. The first one is about a groomsman and a woman meet up in an elevator the night before a wedding, and she agrees to be his date, and they have kind of like a semi-long distance romance. They live in different parts of California, and it's just really cute, fun story. The whole series is fun to read. So that's what I got.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun tropes in those ones too.
Yes.
Like they meet in an elevator. I think there's another couple that like meets at a baseball game.
Baseball game is the second one. Yeah, they're very cute. They usually, actually both series, the main characters, the women are, professional women that, a lot of times don't want to, I'm not going to give up my career for love.
And they don't
necessarily, but they fall in love anyway.
Yeah, they're good.
Very cute.
Great recommendations. All right, do you want to go, or I can go?
I don't know.
You need more time? You're like frantically scrolling through your phone, like going through your Goodreads.
Going through my Goodreads, trying to...
do you need more time?
No, I mean, I'm good, but you can go, because I feel like you've been waiting now.
I just need to talk. Yeah. All right, I have 2 recommendations. The first is called Swamplandia by Karen Russell. It is it's set in the swamplands of Florida, and the main protagonist is a little girl named Ava, and she must travel to the underworld to save her family's alligator wrestling park. Wow. Yeah, it's such a weird book. It's so funny. There's so many quirky characters. Like, I'm pretty sure like Bigfoot and like a bird creature man is in it. Like there's lots of magical realism. It's a book for adults. But I just love books with like magical realism, quirky characters, just, I don't know. I love like creative. This is one of the most creative books I've read in a long, long time. I highly recommend it. The setting is fantastic. It's this family, they own an alligator wrestling farm, and I don't want to spoil anything, but basically they're becoming financial dire straits. So all of the children who are alligator wrestlers basically work on this like cheesy, like rundown kind of like alligator theme park, have to like go out and kind of make money to save the park, right? And the underworld is basically like Disney World. So like they call it the underworld. It's like this huge mega theme park that's like casting a shadow over their little wrestling farm. So it's very, very interesting. It's really weird, but it's very heartwarming. Like the family dynamic's great. All the children kind of go off on their own separate adventures. So it bounces a little bit between them, but it keeps you guessing, and it's just such a good book. And I've been meaning to reread it. So maybe this summer I'll reread it. I've been really looking forward to enjoying this book again. So I highly, highly recommend it. Swamplandia by Karen Russell.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This might be a stupid question. Is alligator wrestling a real sport?
I don't know.
Or is that made up?
Who knows what goes down, down there. But it's very interesting. Like the mom character, she does like a high dive act into an alligator pit. And like that's like their main attraction. And like the father is like the announcer. So he's kind of like dresses up as like, like this flamboyant costume. And he's kind of like announcing the whole thing as it's going on. And I don't know. It's just so memorable for all the weird scenes that are in this book that it's just so fun. And it's not too long either. It's probably like under 300 pages, but it's you'll breeze through it. It's not like a dense literary book, but it was on the New York Times top 10 books of whatever year it came out.
Oh, so that sounds familiar. Okay.
Definitely adding that to my list.
Yeah, really, really good. The other one I wanted to mention, it's sort of part of a series, but you can read any of the books separately. The book is called The Lake Wobegon Virus by Garrison Keillor. So Garrison Keillor is the head of. He used to do the radio show A Prairie Home Companion. Thank you. So a lot of like the skits they do in that show, they're all set in Lake Wobegon, this fictional kind of Midwestern town with all these quirky characters. So Garrison Keillor also writes novels that are set in this Lake Wobegon town, and they're all very funny, very like dry humor. If you like dry humor, it's almost kind of reads like British humor almost. Like he's like almost like a British humorist, but set in like the Midwest. I don't know. It has like a very distinct tone. If you listen to A Prairie Home Companion, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, this book is the latest of these Lake Wobegon novels, and he wrote it during like the COVID lockdown. So there's a lot of parallels between like the COVID lockdown. It's sort of like if the COVID lockdown happened in this weird town full of eccentrics. So the plot is a mysterious virus has infiltrated the good people of Lake Wobegon. The virus is transmitted via unpasteurized cheese made by a Norwegian bachelor farmer, and the effect of which is an episodic loss of social inhibitions. So all these quirky characters get even crazier when they're infected by this virus. So it's another book that's just full of weird characters and weird situations. It's very, very funny. So I highly recommend it. You can read any of his books. He probably has like 8 or 9 or something that are all set in Lake Wobegon. And they all have the same tone. They're all very quirky, memorable characters. So you can pick up any one of them. They're all standalone books too. But this one's the latest, and I might be my favorite of all of them too. So those are my 2 recommendations.
Very nice. So Alex mentioned before that I was just like frantically going through my phone, and I keep a very detailed record of what I read on Goodreads. And so every time I was hearing a book that one of you was just talking about, I was like, oh, I have something that I can kind of connect to that, or I have this, I have the other thing. So please bear with me. But when Marianne was talking about her YA recommendations, I was thinking of books that like I mentioned before, I really like a book that I'll start reading and then I feel compelled to stay up all night reading, to the point where I have a bookshelf on Goodreads called Stay Up All Night with all the books that I have felt the need to do that with. And one of the ones at the top of the list is called The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. And it's a YA novel about a girl named Meredith, who I believe was a twin who recently lost her twin sister. And every year her family has a reunion on Martha's Vineyard, and now there's a big wedding for one of her cousins. And at this reunion, every year they have a giant family-wide game of assassin that they all take very, very seriously. And so the story kind of deals with the game and also the loss of her sister, and also potentially a new romance with somebody who was involved, I guess, in the opposite end of the wedding party. And it's just really fun, and it's sweet, and it's very like New England summer, which we live on Long Island. We're here in Sayville. But I feel like books that take place in like Martha's Vineyard, like New England summer, is like a very specific genre of summer reading. And this is very atmospheric, and it's great. And I remember when I read it, it was the night before a civil service exam for here. And I stayed up late. I'd gone to the beach the day before. I got home and I was like, that book was really good. And I started reading it, and I was like, I got to a point where I was like, I should go to bed. And then I like turned out the light, I put the book away, and I was still thinking about it. So in order to stop thinking about it, I needed to just finish reading it, which...
So you could focus on the test.
Exactly, right. Yes, so like it ended up working out, but it was not my best idea, but the book was great. And when I wrote my review on it, I said a perfect beach read, even though I didn't actually read it at the beach. So that was good. And then I was inspired when Alex was talking about like quirky weirdos. Those characters are so fun, and it made me think of Catherine Center, who has a lot of different kind of like women's fiction, borderline romance novels, but they're not really like specifically romance. Like there's romantic storylines, but her characters, like the stories always feel very normal and very serious, and then they very quickly just take strange little turns where the characters will find themselves in situations that never in a million years happen in real life, but it's set almost in... I describe them as unhinged in a fun way, which maybe if you don't know me, does not sound particularly fun. But you'll be reading it and it's serious and it's normal, and then all of a sudden there's like a beached whale that a child is singing to help it, which sounds really insane out of context, but in the book it's somehow like heartwarming. You're like, wow, all these characters came together to help this whale, even though it's a story about, in the one I'm talking about, it's about an elementary school librarian. So the whale really feels like it's out of nowhere, but I promise it makes sense in the story. But she has a new book out on July 11th. So Catherine Center, if you like nice stories that maybe take a turn for the fun. I'm not selling this well.
You are. It sounds interesting.
Sounds like a beat treat.
Okay, but on July 11th, she has,
Sold on the librarian.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. You enter for the librarian, stay for the whale. Right. Unexpectedly. And then my last book, I was thinking about how in the summer I also sometimes find myself reading memoirs sometimes. Usually if they're narrated by the subject. I like to listen to audiobooks, so sometimes if I'm like doing yard work or like running around doing summary things, I like to listen to somebody tell their own story. And I've realized that like for the last like 5 or 6 years, I've always read something by David Sedaris in the summertime. And I feel like his voice is just very, like his written voice, but also his actual voice is just very fitting for the warmer months and bopping around doing fun things.
Humorous memoir is a good beach read.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you're going to read David Sedaris, you should always listen to it because
yes.
he is the best at reading his own material.
Talk about oddballs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a real life
led with that.
fictional character.
I actually saw him recently when he was performing at not Patchogue. Before that, he was in West Islip, like maybe in the fall. I mean, my friend went, and it was way cheaper than the Patchogue one, which was crazy. But anyway, he was so good. And the one thing about David Sedaris is that he always stays after, and he will meet everyone. And he talks about that in a lot of his memoirs, like how like he talks about some of the quirky people he meets while he's doing this, and he'll sign all the books, and he won't leave until everybody has met him that wants to meet him. And so I do have a signed book by him, and he's awesome. He's like just one of my favorites. So
I'm kicking myself that we didn't mention him in the Pride Month episode.
Oh my gosh, how could we
How
not?
did
That's
none of
true.
us mention him?
That is true because he always talks about his partner. What's his Hal? No.
It does start with an H. Hugh.
Hugh is a big part of his later memoirs.
Well, it is still June.
All right.
Happy Pride, David Sedaris.
Yes, and next June one of us will bring him up.
Absolutely.
Just do a whole episode dedicated to just David.
You really could.
He's certainly given us enough material for it.
Definitely.
And then you could put in those clips of him speaking.
Yeah. When you waited in line and saw him?
Yeah.
Did you give him a strange fact?
I didn't give him a strange fact, but he had said something in the book that I had, one of his most recent ones, I can't think of the one that I was listening to it right before, like the week that I had seen him, and he made a joke about librarians. And he made a joke about how about how the homeless people always hang out in libraries, and he made a joke about it. And I made a comment to him about that, and it didn't go over very well. Like I was trying to be funny. Like, I'm a librarian, and I don't really have a lot of homeless people coming into my library. And he was like, but do you disagree with that? Like, do you think that there are a lot of homeless people that go to the libraries? And I'm like, I guess, yeah, okay, David Sedaris. So it didn't go over very well, but...
No, I think you're overthinking it. He loves talking to people. I think that's why he stays around. So I think he was trying to start a conversation, but...
Maybe.
And you made it awkward.
Maybe I did, because I am an awkward person in general. So maybe that's it. I'll think that, but...
well, next time you see him...
If I see him again.
You can clarify.
Yeah, they're like, hey, remember when you were in West Hampton in 2022?
He'll probably be like, I do remember.
I do remember that.
You were really awkward.
I was writing you into my next book.
Yes.
Oh my God. I know, that was my goal. That was my goal, but it just didn't turn
Heckled
out
by
that way.
librarian.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. That's all we got. All right. So everyone who's listening, make sure you go register right now for summer reading, and I hope you check out some of the books that we recommended. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.